Welcome once again to the Dr. Sky Experience, heard exclusively here on Talk Radio 77 WABC. As we like to say, WABC, proud to be heard in 173 countries, all 50 states, around the nation, around the world, and I'm sure as your host, Dr. Sky, even broadcasting out to the cosmos. If you'd like to get in touch with me, my email is simply DRSKY, Dr. Sky, at WABCradio.com. And of course, you can listen to this particular podcast and replays of the now very popular show, the Dr. Sky Experience, midnight, Friday, Eastern Daylight Time to 2 a.m. Saturday morning, and also Saturday midnight, Eastern Daylight Time to 2 a.m. Saturday morning. That's midnight Saturday, 2 a.m. Sunday morning. Your questions and comments are always appreciated as we get the best guests we can, and you like them, I'm sure, from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather. Well, we're going to be talking about month number 6, June 2025. It's amazing, in the short time that we've been talking, the Earth has nearly made it halfway around the sun as it moves around that racetrack, halfway around its orbit to make one complete year. We begin, of course, with the beauty of the June skies. We begin with Earth's nearest neighbor, the moon. And it's an interesting opposition or event that you can particularly see as we move on to the beautiful full moon of June. That'll be the full strawberry moon. Actually, as we move into the early morning hours of June the 10th. And that happens officially at 3:44 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This particular full moon appropriately known by two names, the full strawberry moon and also the beautiful honeymoon. This particular full moon rides low into the zodiac constellation of Sagittarius the Archer. Yes, indeed, the location of the central part of our Milky Way galaxy, some 27,000 light years away. Let's begin with the moon as it moves through the June skies. The moon reached its first quarter as a waxing object in the sky on the 3rd of June. It then continues to move on as a gibbous moon, like an egg shape, moving on to what we just mentioned as the beautiful full strawberry moon. The moon was at its farthest distance away from the Earth on the 7th. That's known as apogee. But the moon continues, as we mentioned, to ride low into the zodiac signs. So as you're hearing this particular Dr. Sky update, notice how low the moon seems to hug the horizon during the month of June, particularly from about the 6th all the way up to that full moon on the morning of the 10th, and then, of course, into the 11th. Last quarter moon, as the moon then wanes, that occurs on June the 18th. And then we're set up for another beautiful new moon, the dark of the moon, that occurs on the 25th of June, and in my opinion, as many people would agree, is the best time to look for faint celestial objects in the sky, and more on that later as we continue with the Dr. Sky Experience with our early June 2025 update. For planets, we notice things are changing. In the evening sky, we find out that the planet Jupiter moves into conjunction with the Sun by the 24th. And I'm sure by now you've watched Jupiter, that mighty brilliant object, in the west-northwest just after sunset. But it now moves to the glare of the Sun on the 24th. But to replace it, the planet Mercury puts on an interesting show as it's higher in our skies as we move toward the end of the month of June. On June the 30th, 30 minutes after sunset, if you look low into the west-northwest, the planet Mercury will be at least 11 to 15 degrees high, and just at the right of that, the two brilliant stars in Gemini, the constellation, of course, with the stars Pollux and Castor. The early morning sky is where all the activity takes place. The planet Venus, the goddess of love and beauty, is easy to see all throughout the calendar month of June. Did you know on the 1st of June, Venus was at its westernmost elongation away from the Sun? What does that mean? It means that it's about 46 degrees away from the rising sun. This is probably the best time of the month, the early portion of June, to see the goddess of love and beauty, the planet Venus, easy to see as we move into this particular part of the sky into the north-northeast. Also in the sky is the planet Saturn, rising way ahead of the planet Venus, also an interesting naked eye object. And if you're looking with a telescope at the planet Saturn, don't be surprised if you don't, or do not see, I should say, the ring system of Saturn. It's basically on a position we call edge on, and it would be a little difficult to see, depending on the size of the telescope that you have. So your main planets in the month of June, that is in the early morning sky, are Venus and, of course, the planet Saturn. Mars will once again join the morning sky later into the calendar month. But here's a special Dr. Sky treat for all of you that might be on vacation and moving out to, say, some of the darker locations away from light pollution. In my opinion, the best time to look at the objects I'm talking about would probably be toward the end of the month of June. What are we looking for? If you look into the south just around midnight, and if you have a clear sky, you'll be able to see the central region of the Milky Way. This indeed is the area of the constellation Scorpius and the constellation of Sagittarius, the Archer. I need not remind people that if you have a pair of binoculars and no moonlight and clear skies with no thunderstorms or monsoons like we have here in Arizona, you will be treated to the star clouds of the Milky Way. One of the most beautiful sights to see as we move in deep into our June skies. What other things can you see? Dr. Sky recommends a pair of binoculars if you're a beginner. Why? Because you're using naturally two eyes to see objects. Binoculars give you a wide field view of the objects in the heavens as opposed to a more magnified, smaller region of the sky when you're utilizing a telescope. And I'm sure many of you know that by now. Also, if you're interested in seeing many of the Earth satellites, man-made objects in the heavens, we wholeheartedly recommend that you go to heavens-above.com. What will you find there? You'll find information on how to see many of the brightest objects that are in orbit around the Earth. That includes the International Space Station, the Chinese Tiangong Space Station, the Hubble Space Telescope, and a plethora of other space satellites. And of course, with the many launches of Starlink from Elon Musk and SpaceX, you might even get to see a train of satellites moving in across the sky. What does that look like? Many people claim to see these dots in the sky, which are individual satellites, looking like pearls on a necklace moving across the nighttime sky. It's not a UFO, it's simply many of these Starlink satellites. And to wrap it up, in this particular month of June, no major meteor showers. The only major meteor shower coming up in the month of August is that of the Perseids, but unfortunately this year, bright moonlight may hamper a good number of meteors that you might see. Questions and comments? It's always Dr. Sky, D-R-S-K-Y, at WABCRadio.com. And for more updates, we encourage you to listen every Sunday morning with owner and operator John Katzimatidis, as I'm privileged and honored to be with him and his group of great guests from around the world on the Cats Roundtable early Sunday morning on Talk Radio 77, WABC. Clear skies, good health, and we hope that you expand your mind as we try to do that each time here on the Dr. Sky Experience in sharing with you the many wonders from the realms of astronomy, space, aviation, and weather, and this particular report, good for the early portion of June 2025. We'll see you on the radio.
Hello, folks. Larry Kudlow here. Pay attention, because China is leading the largest anti-American alliance since World War II. One that's already dumped U.S. bonds, grabbed 43 million acres of our farmland, and is plotting to dethrone the dollar. That's why IRA and 401k savers are protecting their savings with gold. Please go to freegoldguide.com/Kudlow or just call 800-621-3908 for your free gold guide on how to protect your wealth with gold 100% tax-free.